Hi, Assalamualaikum. We are from Group 3, and in this video, we will talk about abuse of power.
Abuse of power is defined as a misuse of power or authority by someone that possesses authority who can use leverage to oppress people in an inferior position or to induce them to commit a wrongful act.
There are 5 types of power abuse in this context.
The first one is domestic abuse. Domestic abuse is threatened or an actual physical or mental harm in an intimate relationship. The second one is sexual assault. Sexual assault is threatened, attempted, or conducted sexual contact with another person without his or her consent. The third one is dating violence. Dating violence is a form of abuse that occurs in an intimate relationship. The fourth one is stalking. Stalking is an action that makes someone feel oppressed or intimidated regardless of the relationship. The last one is embezzlement. Embezzlement is a person or an entity that misuses any assets entrusted to him or her for any unintended purposes.
Corruption in Libya began during Muammar Gaddafi's rule from 1969 to 2011. Gaddafi's regime received billions of dollars in bribes from wealthy corporations to make illegal deals in the energy sector. While Gaddafi's regime was profiting off of Libya's national assets, more than 40% of the Libyan population lived below the poverty line. Aside from that, he also practices nepotism, the practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives or friends, especially by giving them jobs. Gaddafi has kept his family well appointed throughout his 42-year rule. His oldest son, Muhammad, dominated telecommunications in Libya, while another son, Mu'tasim, was national security advisor. His other children, Hannibal, was influential in the maritime shipping, Khamis commanded a top military unit, and daughter Aisha was the UN Development Programme National Goodwill Ambassador for Libya. Other son, Saadi, was given the job of setting up an export-free trade zone in western Libya, and Saif al-Islam maintained his role as Libya's unofficial diplomat to the west. Roger Van Hellew is a former bishop of Bruges. He admitted to having sexually abused 2 nephews while serving first as a priest and then as a bishop. And though he had done so for 13 years, starting when one of the boys was only 5, the clergyman hasn't been prosecuted because the statute of limitations had run out. In a televised interview, he said, "I had the strong impression that my nephew didn't mind at all. On the contrary, it was not brutal sex. I never used bodily, physical violence." Roger Van Hellew was bad enough, but he is just one of many authorities in the Catholic Church who took advantage of their flocks around the world. The Vatican is still trying to come to grip with its widespread problem, calling on May 2011 for new guidelines for preventing child sex abuse.
As a Muslim, it is very important for us to be amanah, to be justice, and also to keep our promises to other people. And in Surah An-Nahl, verses 90, Allah has said, "Indeed, Allah orders justice and good conduct and giving to relatives and forbids immorality and bad conduct and oppression. He admonishes you that perhaps you will be reminded." So in this ayah, Allah emphasized that we as a Muslim need to be justice to other people, to be justice when we are holding our position or holding any power. And we need to maintain good conduct while we are doing it. And being trustworthy is also one of the behavior of the believer. Rasulullah SAW have said in a hadith where he said, "There is no faith for one who cannot be trusted. There is no religion for one who cannot keep a promise." So both Quranic verses and hadith has emphasized that indeed, as a Muslim, we need to keep our promises. We need to be amanah. We cannot abuse our power. So let's be like Sultan Muhammad Al-Fateh, who has been respected to by all, by Muslim, by Jewish, by Christian, because of his justice and his fairness in holding amanah, because he did not abuse his power while he is in charge.
Moving on, we're going to look at the solution to reduce the abuse of power. Conducting a leadership training could help in shaping the future leader. Through this training, the leader could understand the role of a leader. A leader holds a vital role and set as an example for the people to look up to. Be a leader that could lead and not the one who only talk. Next, a support system should be prepared to the subordinates for them to be able to express their feelings. Conduct an anonymous survey to see whether there is an abuse of power in the company by the leader or those of higher ranks. In Islam, Allah has also forbidden in betraying Allah, betraying His noble Prophet, and betraying the trust of the people. Allah says, "O you have believed, do not betray Allah and the Messenger or betray your trust while you know the consequence." Hence, we should hold to our responsibilities accordingly and do not abuse the power and trust that was given to us. So, we are hearing the definition of power abuse, types of power abuse, cases of power abuse, Islamic perspective towards power abuse, and solutions to misuse of powers. And I'm pretty sure all of you learned a lot from this video, right? It is no doubt that corruptions due to abuse of power is a constant in any societies, but it does not mean that we should turn a blind eye to this obvious misconduct. Never misuse your power and stop any act of power abuse. Change starts with you.